entertainer, philosopher, comedian, Mike Usenick. Usenick Unleashed!
Good evening, folks. How are you guys doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you guys been? It's been a while, and pleasure meeting you, Kevin. You're right next to me today.
You as well. Glad to be here.
So
Yeah,
you guys, go ahead.
I said it's been a minute since we've been on. We was on when it was Pink Sock, wasn't it, last time?
Yeah, last time, but for some reason, people don't like wearing T-shirts. That is a slang term for prolapsed rectum, so I had to change it up a bit. I don't know why.
I can't imagine why they wouldn't want.
Right. And if I do say so myself, I do love the logo.
Thank you. I truly appreciate it. So you guys, since last time we talked, you have this new project, the TheSound228. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's not new. It's this is something that actually Kevin can speak to. He's the owner.
Oh, you guys didn't mention it, I don't think, when you were last on.
Well, we were there as Riff Media.
Oh, okay. You guys do way too much shit. It's hard to keep up with.
We're very busy.
Very busy, dude.
You guys got your hands in a lot of stuff, including Kevin, because you guys do radio.
No, they don't have their hands in me.
No, he'd enjoy that too much.
If we did, since we all live so far apart. I'm really Elastigirl.
There you go.
I like how you had to specify that. You're like, they don't have my hands in me. They're not my doctor.
That's it.
So what all do you guys do over at Sound 228?
Yeah, so it's the TheSound228, and it started off in 2018 as the fourth person of the group, Jared. I just started off as a podcast that was going to focus on local Gulf Coast Mississippi music, trying to give them an outlet that they didn't have anywhere. At the time, the homegrown show on the local rock station wasn't there anymore. So there was no place for them to, other than Spotify, there was nobody locally promoting them or anything like that. So we just started off doing that. And as it grew, we kind of started reaching out outside of the Gulf Coast or in our immediate Gulf Coast area and started reaching out to bands a few states over and things like that. And then it just kept snowballing into starting to do concerts, bringing bands in from outside of the area to do concerts. And then we started a radio station in October of 2021. I think it was 21 that we started it. And then a mobile app. And then a couple years later, a magazine. So we're trying to be a one-stop shop for up-and-coming bands. If they want to be affiliated with the Sound, we've got a radio station that reports to the small market radio chart. We put on concerts. We have the magazine. We have the show. And we just try to promote them as best as we can.
That's awesome. Because, like, local and small artists, they need that voice. Because especially nowadays, because the radio, like, is different now. Like, you have to have an app like you guys have, and it's hard to get those bands out there, especially the way the industry is now.
Well, okay. I mean, I could talk on this, so you go ahead, Lisa, Matt, however.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, there's plenty of outlets for the bands. There is now. Digitally there is. But there's no one featuring them. So like when we do one of our podcasts, one of our episodes, we're featuring that band. We're playing a video from that band. We're talking about just that band and what's going on with them, what they've got going music-wise and things like that. So that's one thing that sets us apart from some of it is when we do that kind of stuff and when we're doing the cover of the magazine and things like that, we're focusing on one band that normally a a major outlet like a Rolling Stone magazine or a Spin magazine or a Metal Edge magazine or anything like that is not touching. So that's where we try to separate ourselves from. We're catching them before. We want to be the ones that say, you know what, I found out about this band from The Sound. I didn't find out about it from fucking Spin magazine or Rolling Stone or anything like that. And in some cases we are ahead of the game than some of the other major outlets.
That's
Yeah,
bad.
we pride ourselves in being the place to discover new artists.
And that's pretty much also what Riff does. So it's awesome that you guys are coming together because you guys are very similar in that aspect, at least in my opinion.
Well,
Yeah, when it comes to like getting bands out there and promoting and stuff, and Kevin does the same with his company Full Circle with booking and stuff like that. We sort of work together in I wouldn't say a collaboration, but like getting those artists out there, getting them heard. Riff does like social media marketing and stuff like that. Kevin does like booking at Full Circle. We've actually got currently a co-client, Storage 24, who are signed to Full Circle, and Riff, and The Sound is a platform for them to get their music out and get heard as well.
That's
And
the
the one thing I like about it though is they have Riff Media, we have Full Circle, we all are a part of The Sound. But just because you're a member of Riff Media or just because you're a member of Full Circle doesn't mean you're getting on The Sound.
no.
So it doesn't. There's no bias. It's you got to put in the work to get on The Sound.
Yeah.
And Riff and Full Circle, they kind of work together to get those bands to do what they need to do to be able to get on The Sound, because they're not going to get on The Sound unless they do their shit straight.
Right.
So.
Exactly. So we work them up to get them to the level that they need to be, because we're very like I work out all the new ads on the station. I have a very strict criteria that I stick to, and you need to be hitting that level. Like, I don't care about how many streams you've got, I don't care about your numbers, right? But if you're not hitting that level, if you're sending me something that sounds like it was recorded in your mum's basement and is very tinny and stuff like that, I'm not going to add it, because we pride ourselves in quality as well.
And you have to
Yeah.
in those regards. And in a way, you guys are collaborating, but not. And that's what's beautiful about your guys' business efforts together is that's what this is all about, whether you're in one form of the entertainment world or music. We should all come together and use our art and use our abilities and help each other out, not compete with one another.
Right.
Because we're all in the same business.
And it does help. Like Kevin with the Full Circle booking and the sound book shows, that helps in that department, because he knows what he's doing when he's booking shows and stuff. And with Riff Media Group, with the social media side of it, like everything you see on the TheSound228 socials is Lisa. So it's all kind of like, it works in the what we do outside of the sound helps the sound.
And that's awesome that you guys are doing that, because I remember when we last talked, you guys was talking about doing that kind of stuff, and it's awesome because I love it, because even if they're not on the show, I get a lot of different bands from you guys to check out. I'm like, holy shit. You guys are way ahead of the game in those regards. And then same with sound. You guys are all together, have a lot of great artists that otherwise people wouldn't hear. And
Yeah.
I love that. That's
Thank
what you guys
you. Thank you. That really means a lot, because I mean, it's so important to us. Like, we want you to have great production. You need to sound, radio friendly. Obviously, you have to be professional and hold yourself accountable to that level of production and the way that you make your music. But we really do pride ourselves on going for those bands and those artists who no one else is playing, and they're not playing them for bullshit reasons. They're not playing them because their Spotify numbers aren't high enough, their Pandora numbers aren't high enough, their social media isn't active enough. Just because those things haven't happened yet doesn't mean that they don't have great music that the rest of the world should hear. And we're not just focused on the United States, we're talking about globally. We play bands and interview bands from all over the world. And just because you haven't heard of them yet, you're welcome. Now you have. And we want you to be introduced to that music via our platform.
Yeah. And it's what we do at the Sound. you know, it doesn't happen overnight. There's a workforce. There's me, Kevin, Lisa, and our other guy who's not here tonight, Jared, who generally handle day-to-day activities on the sound, you know, booking shows, making sure the radio station's sounding great, getting the magazine organized. We just put together a small writing team, which is now growing for the magazine and blog and stuff. And like, it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. But I love what I do. And I'm sure the other two will say the same.
You can tell that you guys absolutely love what you do because look at your fucking backgrounds. They're all. You have to love what you do because you have.
We're in it to win it, man. We're in it to win it.
Well, we need people like you guys because at the end of the day, the bands that the mainstream people play, they're not going to be around much longer. Your Metallicas ain't going to be here much longer. We need that future.
We do. We need the future of music, and these bands are hungry. They've got good music. They just need someone to give them some space. Give them 3 minutes on the radio or get them on a podcast, you know, and just talk to them, you know, so people can actually know and understand, you know, this is a great band and I want to be a part of that. You know, going to see a band in a small venue when they're just up and coming is a far better experience than going to see a band at a stadium show. I almost never go to those big shows anymore. So if you want to know, you know, and the tickets are exorbitantly priced. So if you want to go to a show where you're going to hear great music in a small setting, you should be watching what we do because we got those artists for you, man.
Right. And like, I want to go back, you know, a couple of years, right? I don't even know if I've ever said this to Kevin personally, but he took a risk on me and Lisa coming on to help him with the sound. He saw what we were doing with promoting bands and stuff, and I presume he went, I need those people, right? We have some of the best music in the underground scene playing on our station. And I don't say that because, you know, I'm here at the Sound228. The reason I'm here at the Sound228 is when Kevin approached me to become part of the Sound228 team, we had a conversation and he laid out his mission for the sound, and I believed in it, and I still believe in it, and that's why I'm here doing what I do.
Gosh, yeah, we've been part of the team for 3 years.
4 now.
Is it 4?
4 must be, surely.
No.
You guys started right around the pandemic.
It was right.
Yeah.
It was right after that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just after the pandemic.
That'd be about 4 years.
Man, it's been that long.
Yeah, because what's crazy to think about is 2021 was 4 years ago. Where's the time go?
And as usual, I'm over here going, hold on, I'm going to go look at something.
Yeah, because if you remember rightly, Lisa, we came on and we were helping with the Soundboarder fans group, and we were doing bits and pieces behind the scenes, and no one really, we weren't on the podcast at the time as hosts. We didn't have shows on the station at the time. We were just helping Kevin and Jared out to try and grow the sound. And then Kevin and Jared offered me the position as music director. I think that was in start of 22.
Right, 3 years ago.
Yeah, but we were there before that. I think we've been here 4 years.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, we have been around for a minute, but yeah.
So if you guys want to check out, sorry to interrupt, I wanted to promote for you guys real quick. If you guys want to hear new music and the next big thing, go check out the Sound228 at TheSound228.com. And the website will be down below the entire episode.
And that is the same handle that we use for all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X.
Right. And if you want to listen to us on the go, we have an app on Google Play and the App
Store.
Yeah, you know, it's really ironic when Twitter, because I try not to use all social medias because it gets way too consuming. So like I was starting to cut down, and when Twitter changed its name to X was when I ironically left Twitter.
A lot of people exited out.
Well, I find it funny it's named X now, and it's now my ex. Like it's
right.
Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, no.
Are you having white girl breakfast, Matt? You're over there vaping and
Dude, it's almost 1:15 in the morning here, so
You guys are so eccentric because you're 1:15. What time is it for you, Lisa?
It's 8:15.
We're the only ones at the same time.
And for
Yeah.
Kevin, it's 7:15.
Kevin's essential. So
Damn.
And what time is it for you?
It's same time as you, 8:15.
Okay.
So my question is how the hell did you find each other?
wow. Who wants to explain this story?
The magic of the internet.
Yeah, basically. I'd met Lisa. We became friends.
Through Twitter.
Through Twitter. She was working, helping promote bands with our late brother, Joe Alfano. And we were just doing bits. And then some of the bands that we were helping were being played on the sound. And we were doing bits and pieces. And then Kevin popped into the scene. And I don't really know how he found us, but that's how we found the sound. And
I found you guys from Joe.
There we go. Mr. Alfano.
He was the mysterious man there for a minute. He's like, I just found you.
Because the very first person that helped the sound was Joe.
Yeah.
Joe was helping us, God, almost right after. He was helping us with
the fan group, the
social media stuff and helping us get some bands and stuff like that. And then he got expensive. And then we were still communicating with him. And then he suggested you two. And so I reached out. So
wow.
He's regretted it ever since.
and going through our YouTube channel, it looks like the first episode you guys were on was episode 98.
I was on episode like 77. I was on way earlier than that. I think us together might be 98.
You stood in for Jared once.
And I've stood in for Kevin.
Oh, that's right.
Well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like back in 2020, 2021.
Yeah, it was just, and it's been. I'll say now, like the team we have with the four of us, and it's a shame Jared couldn't be here tonight because love that guy to bits, but we've got a solid team here, and we all know our roles. Like, yes, we have disagreements. We have little debates about music and stuff like that. But
wait a minute.
Wait a minute. We're about to have one.
Time.
I will say.
I do not have disagreements with anybody.
I will say this: it's because we're all so passionate about the same thing,
right?
We believe in the same things, but I will tell you this: if all four of us were on here, I probably stand out the most by music style of what I like. It's a little different than what those three like. Yeah. But all together, we put together a good product. Mm-hmm. So when I'm leaning on something and they're all like, no, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And when they're all leaning on something and I'm kind of like, eh. But it is what it is. But that's the reason it works so well is because but I've started to grow into the musical styles that they're favorited to.
Right.
They haven't grown into the musical styles that I'm favorited to, but
I sent you a track literally before we got on here. Actually, I don't know if you've seen it yet. But yeah, it's these. Yeah, we have heated debates, but that's what makes us stronger as individuals. But it also makes the station great because everyone behind the scenes of the station has the station's best interests at heart.
Well, yeah, because with any business, you don't need a bunch of yes men, especially when they all think that it wouldn't work.
I can tell you, we are the furthest away from yes men.
Beautiful, because you don't.
Hey, I was a yes man today when you messaged me.
That was
Oh,
I had a valid point though, but yeah,
You did, yeah.
it just went sideways. There it is. Maybe Matt does have his hand in Kevin. I don't know.
Working him like a puppet.
That's got to be a long hand to reach 3,500 miles across the ocean.
No, it was a conversation between Matt and myself about certain songs on the station, and he agreed that what I wanted to do was probably the right thing to do. So,
did you write it down so we can refer to it later as a time when Matt, agreed?
When we agreed,
yeah, when you guys agreed.
I'll go back and screenshot the chat.
we need receipts.
We gotta document this, man. That way, in like 6 months from now, I can be like, "Hey, guys, remember that time back at band camp when you guys got along?" Yeah.
So no, I think we've all, like Kevin said, like he's growing into, because me, Lisa, and Jared are generally heavy metalcore heads, right? Kevin likes his
dad rock.
I'm gonna say dad rock.
mainstream active rock.
Yeah, basically like Breaking
radio
Ben.
rock.
Yeah, he loves Creed and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think as we've moved along this journey with the sound, I think we've all grown. One with our music tastes. One, it's always evolving, and I don't want to blow smoke up our own arse, but the station right now, I had it on for the past couple of days, just listening to it while I do a bit of work and a bit of gaming and stuff. Sounding the best it's ever sounded.
Yeah, it does
It's got
sound
a mix of everything in there.
And I gotta tell you, until I took over the ladies show, how long ago was that? I took over Ladies Night 2 years ago.
Yeah,
2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I wasn't really paying that close attention to women in the music industry, and now it's one of my sole focuses.
So when you talk about
it is. I get to write about it and I talk about it, and it's cool. So I really enjoy it. So it's actually helped evolve my listening as well, because now I'm out looking for those bands that have women in them, whether if they're women vocalists or musicians in the band. It's another subgenre of the genre that I love. So
and
fun.
In no way would I have thought 3 years or 4 years ago that I would get into my truck and turn on baby metal and Slaughter to Prevail,
right,
and roll down the road.
Right.
But here I am.
I gotta say though, baby metal is badass. Like a lot of people in the metal industry are like, "Oh, you're combining pop and metal," but when Rob Halford likes it, you can go screw yourself.
Right. And not only that, every single time they tour North America, I try to get tickets, and it always sells out, and I can't ever get a ticket to freaking baby metal. Baby metal, help a girl out.
Yeah, I tried getting tickets because they were doing one show in London, and I tried getting tickets, and it was gone.
Yeah.
It's crazy because they combine the aspects of like K-pop and like shock rock. Like they have all the fireworks and all that shit, but they're also pop, but they're metal. It's like, what the hell are you doing? It's
with their choreography and everything too. You're like,
Yeah.
My God. And do these girls not age?
No.
Like I want to know like what they're putting on their skin.
I think
I want to know.
It's beef tallow.
It's beef tallow.
Probably one of the best videos I've seen, right, of live performance. Because you see a lot of these bands and these big bands, they do these collabs and stuff, and they they go and tour and stuff. And like I'm a huge Architects fan, right? And I've been dying for them to bring fucking Parkway Drive vocalist out on Impermanence when they're doing it live. They've done it a couple of times at festivals, but I haven't been there. Now, I saw a video where Bring Me the Horizon were headlining Tokyo, and they brought out baby metal for Kingslayer, and it absolutely fucking slayed.
I get goosebumps and like almost tear up every single time I watch it. It is that powerful to me. That performance is one of the best I've ever seen.
It's insane.
So guys, once more to promote, if you guys want t-shirts to help promote these amazing people, they have t-shirts available.
Look at that.
Yeah, I'm professional sometimes. I love that shirt.
Kevin's wearing
Oh, I
one.
should have worn my sound hat, shouldn't I?
I love it.
Hey, I've got our posters behind me.
I see
30,
that.
30 Fest.
I've got one up there, but you can't see it.
I've got another one right there of our shows that we've put on. And we've got
Speaking
another great show coming up actually in 2 weeks from Saturday. 12
Oh,
Stones will be headlining. Yeah.
I have
With it.
2 flyers that was sent to me, Lisa. One of them is probably it, but I don't know which one's which because the titling's kind of weird. So I'm going
Go
to click
for
on
it.
one, and you can go ahead and give information.
Sure.
Hey, what's the face for, Kevin?
No. Go ahead. 'Cause I don't remember how I titled them. I just threw them into a drive. So
One of them's titled like a bunch of numbers, and the other one's just a bunch of gibberish. So
Great.
sounds like my computer.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Kevin. You want to talk about this one?
All right. So this is September 13th. It's going to be here in the region I'm in the Gulf Coast region in Biloxi at the Sanctuary, Kingdom Collapse, which is one of the first bands that the Sound ever. When I talked about music coming from different regions, when we decided to reach out from where we were at, Kingdom Collapse was one of the first bands we ever reached out to bring some different music in. They're going to be headlining it with Dark Remedy, Envision, Paper Cut Massacre, Brendan Starr, Raven's Banquet. Sanity's Last Breath is also going to be playing that. That is confirmed now. And it's going to benefit suicide prevention. So the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention and Mission 22, the military charity, will both be there. They'll be setting up. Have people there to talk to you if you want to talk, if you need info and things like that. We've been lucky enough that a similar system to the Sound Asylum Radio Network in Tennessee is helping promote this, and the Rage over in Louisiana is helping promote this as well. Tickets are $25, and we're working with. There's a good possibility. I don't know yet, but we may change it to all ages. I'm trying to see if we can make that happen because the suicide. The ages affected by suicide, the main ages are 10 to 34.
It's hard.
So if you look at if 10 is the youngest, why can't we do all ages? So we're working on that as well. So
yeah, because 18 would be about the halfway point. So
Yeah.
you should have all
Yep.
ages
Yeah.
there. So that makes sense.
It's a
Right,
killer
and-
show for a killer reason.
Right. And September is Suicide Prevention Month. So rock for a reason. It's time. We're all tired of losing our friends.
Yep.
And it's the silent killer because most people that are at that state are the happiest looking people.
They always are.
Like, for instance, like Robin Williams and all the comedians that we have lost and all the musicians that you thought were doing well. This man don't even touch his camera and it moves. He's high tech.
I know, right?
Anyway.
You're creeping me out, Kevin.
Right? Is it
Why?
motion censored or do you have like a button like Dr. Evil? It just
Yeah, it's actually a remote control on my computer that's got a little toggle switch that I can move it up and down and side to side.
Oh, that's neat as hell. Because I've seen some of them as motion
But
censored.
I've got one. Yeah, I've got one. I have it turned off, but I can actually put the active track on it. And if I do the active tracking, it'll move with me.
That's cool shit. I need to get one like that. I'm gonna start doing
Insta 360.
I'm gonna start doing festivals here soon. That'd be nice for like walking around.
Oh,
All
wait. No. Kevin's about to throw out his trump card. Where's the glasses?
Oh boy.
They are in my room.
Okay.
But I do have the Meta glasses. So to a pair of Ray-Bans, and I can just say, hey, Meta, record video, and it'll record 3 minutes worth of video.
I didn't mean to pop that up, but since it's up
That's
there,
the next one. Who wants to take this one on?
Lisa,
Yeah. So in about 2 weeks on July 19th over at the D'Iberville Community Center, 12 Stones is coming, presented by The Sound and Budweiser, sponsored by Mitchell Distributing. 12 Stones hasn't headlined that local area. They're sort of hometown heroes. in over 5 years, right, Kevin?
So it's been 5 years since they played the Gulf Coast. Yeah.
Right. And so they are coming to headline. They're going on a huge tour. They're playing all the major festivals this year. And this is a true Gulf Coast show. They have got all Gulf Coast bands coming in as support acts. Counterfeit, which is a tribute to Limp Bizkit. They're amazing. Envision them guys, Transient, and The Big Reveal. It's all going down on all ages show. So please bring the family, come hang out down in D'Iberville, Mississippi.
And the cool thing about this show is this is a very 100% self-produced. We're taking over community center. We're bringing in our own lights, our own sound. We're going to be selling all the snacks and the beverages and handling all the ticket sales and all of that. It's 100% produced. We're not going into a bar or into a club and just kind of having the event there. We're building the event here. So it's a very big undertaking. We haven't done it in a while. So we're hoping that it does well so we can do it again maybe in November.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So tickets at TheSound228.com.
Yep. 12 stones, baby.
And how much are tickets?
Huh?
How much are tickets? Sorry to interrupt.
Those are 25 in advance. And that's the one thing that we've always wanted to do. Even when we did our most financially expensive show, the tickets were started at $25. And that was Rockin' the Sound in 2023. And we had 12 bands, 11 bands?
I don't remember.
11 bands, and 9 of them were national touring bands.
Yeah. Non-point headlined it.
That's a hell of a deal, because typically you pay like $40 for a show like that, or 50, or even more.
12
Yeah,
bands.
well, we try and keep
where my
it
poster is.
because we're not.
I happen to glance up at mine.
The sound like we're about my camera. Where's my camera?
You need to get a camera like his.
Yeah, I need one like Kevin. Kevin, buy me one. Now at the sound, we're not obviously. You know, we want to focus on getting these bands out there and stuff like that. But we're also for the fans of the community of the industry of us as well. You know, we couldn't do what we do at the sound if it wasn't for our, super fan base that we have. And that's why we try and keep ticket prices as low as we possibly can when we're putting on these shows for people, because life's expensive, man.
That's admirable, because a lot of people let the greed get the best of them.
No. That and Kevin can probably speak more to that, but that's one of the core principles I think that we have here is that's bullshit. We don't buy into that.
Our whole thing as the sound is we understand. I mean, I've been in the radio business since 1999.
Sure.
And I've watched businesses like Ticketmaster and things like that to where, hey, yeah, it's a $35 ticket, but by the time you finish all your fees and everything, you're paying $56 or $60 for a ticket. And now it's almost close to $100 a ticket. And that was always when I was at the radio station full time. That was always the thing. We did a show called CPR Fest, and that was always the thing with CPR Fest. Unfortunately, it's still not near what bigger shows are, but it was always, we want to make it affordable for everybody to be able to go. And we always did it as a family of 4. So for a family of 4 to go see a great rock show, it'd be $100. If you go see, I don't even know what the ticket prices are, but I guarantee you. So down here in August, we've got Falling in Reverse, Sleep Theory, Wage War, Tech 9. I guarantee you, for a family of 4 to go to that show, tickets will be at least $250. At least $250 for 4 people to go.
Or per person.
Right. But
I also get that bit end of the business too, because we see that side of it. I see how much it costs for the bands to travel, the gas, the buses, the semis to carry the production, and things like that. So I know that they've got to be able to absorb that cost and put it into the ticket sales to be able to make money.
But
So
how
I
much
understand.
of a percentage of that does the band actually see, though? Because I heard a musician say one
not a
time,
lot.
I think it was Gary Holt that said it. He's like, I'm a glorified traveling t-shirt salesman. I'm not even getting paid for my music.
No, and that's a lot of bands will tell you that the merch is where it's at. So we ask that if you go to a show, buy something from the merch.
Mhm.
Skip out on one beer or two beers and buy a hat, buy a shirt, because your beers are $16. Your shirt's going to be like $40. So if you skip out on two beers, you can get a shirt.
So
And go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was going to say I've got the ticket. So they're coming to Jiffy Lube live, which is by me. That's my
They're getting an
venue.
oil change.
Huh?
They're getting an oil change.
They are. A ticket in the way back at the pavilion, okay, is $40.50. Parking, if you want premier parking, that's $40, or it's going to take you at least an hour to get out of there. So they have that. And then if you want to get closer to the stage, so right behind the pit, those tickets, $250 a piece. And God help you if you want pit tickets, baby, because that's going to cost you a cool $341.
So
Crazy, isn't it?
the
But
cheapest
that's also
ticket,
like, it's not meet and greet, but there's like extras with that. So
right?
there's entry, like a little merch package, like a signed poster, like whatever it is. They have like VIP stuff.
Right.
But yeah, a family of four, you're sitting in the cheap seats, you're $200 if you're lucky.
That's before Ticketmaster fees and everything.
Right.
Yeah. It'd be about $400 with the fees.
Like I was looking at
God forbid if you're thirsty or you get hungry and you want a snack.
Right?
Linkin Park just played Wembley Stadium at the weekend.
Did Architects open?
No, it was Spirit Box and that were playing with them in the UK. Okay. But I'm pissed because I saw something earlier that Mr. Harley David Watson was on fucking rail for that. Yeah. But I was going to go up. I was looking at, because I was like, oh fuck, they're playing, and I was looking at tickets, and the cheapest tickets that I could find for that were like $220.
Were they resale?
No, that was on Live Nation.
See, that's where they get you nowadays, because you're better off just paying the same amount for like a 3-day festival and see the same band and more.
And this is what we are finding now in this industry is people are going to the festivals more than what they are to these shows because you get more bang for your buck.
And it's the same price.
You know?
I paid
and that's what you start to look at it. I've seen a poll a couple times. What's the right amount of bands to see in a concert, a normal concert? And 6 is right about the average. They don't want to pay the $40-$50 to go see 3 bands like they used to. 2 bands. Now they want to see a mini little festival every time they go to a show.
Yeah.
Is that because we're spoiled?
I do like the more bands, the more, because I love being at shows. But it depends on the show, because if it's, I end up getting in the pit, I start dying like midway through the show, and I'm like, fuck, when's the headliner on?
But do you think that that's part of like society is spoiled in a way, because there's more festivals now than there was back then, at least readily available, because you have a festival in damn near every state now. Back then it was like, oh, Ozfest is coming through or whatever big festival, but that was it. Yeah. That's all you had. And then you're like, oh, then I'm going to go see this band headlining next week because that's all I got.
Yeah, it's over here in the UK, festival season starts. Radio 1 actually kick it off at the beginning of May. And then there's a festival every single weekend until the end of October.
Yeah, your stuff is crazy over there.
There is 6 festivals within a 3-hour radius of me and that's just within 2 hours. There's like 15 of them if I feel like traveling 5. Yeah. Like that is a lot. Plus the touring festivals aren't even included. Like that is crazy. And I think part of it, it's a good thing and a bad thing because like that all started with you could say Ozfest or Mayhem Fest, where it was a touring festival, not just a
Or
station
Warped Tour.
or Warped Tour. Yes, they added
Or I'll
like
really show my age. Before that, the Monsters of Rock tour.
Yes.
I see your walker back there. Monsters of Rock wasn't that 80s when they
It was.
Yeah.
That was the original name for Download Festival.
Yep.
My brother, his very first concert was Monsters of Rock in Germany, and it was Motley Crue and Van Halen and Def Leppard and Joan Jett and Dio and
God, it's like an
Dude.
80s orgasm.
Yeah.
You know, it's like all like every band that you would want to see in the 80s in their prime.
Wasn't it
Yep.
Monsters of Rock that had like one of the biggest attendance records when Metallica was there?
Yeah. So
I'm sure it probably was. Monsters of Rock was the shit back then, and then,
Here's-
then
here's
Go
a
The
ahead.
fun
new one
fact.
is the new one's
Talking-
rocking.
Talking
Yep.
of Monsters of Rock and Metallica, here's a fun fact that Lisa found out, and I found out at Download Festival in 23. So Metallica were headlining, and Lars Ulrich came out on the microphone and basically said something like, you know, it's good to be home, and the reason why Metallica was created was because of the Monsters of Rock fucking festival poster he saw. He wanted to put a band together, and then he created Metallica.
Damn. I don't even think they headlined the one that was the highest attendance. I think it was either Guns N' Roses or AC/DC
Could have been.
because that was like when they were first starting. That's a hell of a first fucking festival show.
Right.
Also, isn't like Wacken open air that big? Like they shut down an entire city or some shit?
Yeah, Vakken's pretty big.
That's
Yeah.
like a dream of mine. Wacken is a bucket list, man.
They have 3 fucking stages, one next to another. That is insane.
Yeah.
I would love that.
It's like,
so once
know.
again, I dive into my research when we were talking about that. So the peak attendance for Monsters of Rock was 1988, 107,000.
Oh my God. So you're quicker than me. I
It
love
was
this.
it was Iron Maiden, Kiss, David Lee Roth, Megadeth, Guns N' Roses, and Halloween.
Hey, there's
Wow.
another reason why Megadeth is superior. No, I'm just kidding.
crazy. But like the attendance, these festivals are getting crazy now. Like, you know, everyone knows Glastonbury Festival. That's literally what, an hour and a half up the road from me.
That's
Do
too
you know
big.
what, do you know what the festival attendance is at that now?
Isn't it like 170?
It's getting on close to 270.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell no.
Hey,
Look,
since you're so quick at researching, what is the biggest festival that ever happened attendance-wise?
Kevin,
Yeah,
are you
this
looking
is
it up or
the-
am I looking it up? Okay.
Because I have a feeling it is way up there.
Yeah, I mean, like I've seen like some of the footage like from Glastonbury and all that, and like the sea of people. I don't want to be
I would
anywhere
want it.
near
I was
that.
gonna say Rock in Rio probably had it, but this okay. So Rock Record U.S. Festival, 1983, 670,000.
For what
Jeez.
festival?
U.S. Festival,
It's
1983.
just called U.S. Festival.
Yeah,
670,000.
That's like the lamest name ever.
yeah.
Like, what?
But total. I don't even know how to say it. The Nonselfest in Austria happened in June 28th of 2015. 3.3 million.
Ah, no, nope.
Could you imagine being in the back?
Yeah, nah.
Can you imagine being in the front and being like, I gotta pee? You
Can
know?
you imagine the size of the pits?
Lisa,
I'm looking,
Lisa,
but that was overall music. I'm finding out to see who was in that. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, that was
Is that like a Glastonbury where it's a bit
that
of
was
everything?
that was a mixture of international acts, electronic and dance.
Oh,
Natalie Imbruglia, Tayo
Yeah.
Cruz, but I'm gonna find out about this US Fest real quick.
yeah.
headlining act is
From
like Rod Stewart or
1983.
some
I
shit.
think
While
I
he's
think-
looking
I
for
think
that,
that was the fest that Motley Crue debuted their first. Yeah, so it was it was a 4-day festival. The Clash, Men at Work, Stray Cats, Flock of Seagulls, English, Oingo Boingo,
Oh, it's solid gold days.
Quiet-
What a time to be alive.
Quiet Riot, Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne, Judas Priest, Triumph, Scorpions, Van Halen.
Okay.
That was a
That's a fucking
1.5
lineup, isn't it?
million payday.
I'm
for
sorry
day
to
two.
interrupt, but I found something very shocking, and I did not expect this. But the biggest concert ever in attendance was 1994 at Copacabana Beach. Rod Stewart performed in front of 3.5 million people.
My God.
Wow,
Holy shit!
Yep.
Wow.
that's
I
crazy.
mean, go South America. I mean,
Well,
Well, and that's what I was going to say when you were talking about attendance. The first one that popped in my head was Rock in Rio,
yeah. Well,
because Rock in Rio always has a huge attendance.
Yeah,
it's weird. The biggest attendance was at Copacabana Beach with Rod Stewart. You'd think that'd be a Barry Manilow concert.
right? Appropriate. But I think a lot of artists skip South America altogether. I mean, the cost of going that far south is so expensive when Europe and the UK and all those other, it's just so much easier for them, right? I find so many bands skip South America. Every single time a band posts a tour, it's always like, come to Brazil or come to, like they're begging for it. So
Yep.
I would imagine when they finally do get that show, no matter what it is, they're going.
I think it might have
Rock
something to do with,
in Rio in 2024 did 730,000 across 2
Oh,
weekends.
hell no. I don't want to be anywhere near that.
yeah, I think it's got something to do with like visas and stuff, and there's a lot of bad stuff happening in the South America and stuff, so they just don't want to.
We should talk to it. I mean, I'm trying to think, do we even know a band that's been to South America?
Metallica's been to South America.
No, okay. I meant that we actually might know.
Do we? Yeah, no, I
Personally,
don't think so.
Because all I know is that when it comes to a band performing anywhere, I automatically think Metallica because they're the only band to perform in Antarctica.
The only bands that I can think of that we would know that have played in that area has probably been on Shiprocked or one of the other rock
Okay, one of
cruises,
the cruises. Sure.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
not actually having performed in the country because they perform on the boat. So
Right.
yeah.
But
I'm
wouldn't
sorry,
that
ship.
count?
They perform on the ship.
Shiprocked? You
Yeah.
don't know what Shiprocked is?
No, I know what that is. I said, wouldn't that technically count as performing in the country if you're on a ship?
No,
or
because you're in international waters.
Oh, okay. That's a weird technicality.
It really is, but it has a lot to do with, I think, like taxes and the way that they get
Mhm.
like, yeah.
Could you imagine that was your only show?
Loopholes, dude. We all have a good loophole.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if that was your only show? Where did you perform this year? Nowhere. Because it's international waters.
I don't know the technicalities of that, but yeah, there's a lot of really great festivals though. I mean, we've got what other stuff have we got going on this year, guys, that we can talk about? We've got Rock.
Well, there's
we've
something
got
we
12
can't talk
Stones.
about, but
Well, I just went to Warp Tour.
Really?
I went to DC. I went to Warp Tour.
I went to
It
Sonic.
was it's amazing. I mean, the first day I got heat stroke. I had to tap out at like 5:00. I'm not 29 anymore. I'm now 30. So I was
tossing up,
you wish.
I'm still tossing up Louder Than Life.
oof.
I might.
Yeah, that would be a good shout. I was debating on going to Download Festival this year, but I'm glad I didn't.
I went to Sonic Temple just Friday though. I didn't get the whole weekend.
Oh, Jared, our other person who's missing, he was there at Sonic Temple.
Yep.
Oh, shit. You guys should come back on soon and with him because I love talking to you guys. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. You
Talking
would
to
like
you.
Jared. He's a musician.
Oh, nice. What band is he in?
It's a band called Falls from Grace.
Oh, that's a nice band.
He's the
name.
vocalist.
And I don't know if I should say it.
Say it. You already said it.
I know it's potentially another band too.
Potentially in another band, and we got.
Okay, I haven't heard about this, so I really can't speak to it. But
But yeah, no, Falls from Grace. They played a couple of our shows, haven't they?
yeah,
They played Rock in the Sound. They played a couple of the shows that we had at the Cannery.
yeah.
They played Bayard Fest at Juke Joint.
Oh yeah, that was like
They played the second show the Sound ever did when we had Party at the Moon Tower headline it. Yeah, they played a few of them. I kind of try to pull the string a little bit because Jared would have them on every show if they had the opportunity, but
Right.
or his band would want them on every show. He's done pretty well of saying, okay, we've done one, we're going to wait a while before we do another one. So
Yeah.
and
you
they
can't
don't
wait
they
for
don't
that
play it
period.
they don't play it out a lot anymore anyways.
Right.
So it's a very nostalgia when they come out because they used to play all the time back in the early 2000s and 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then they just kind of all grew up and they got jobs and they got adult lives and kids and married. And then they decided to start playing again. And every now and then they'll play a live show and they'll bring a really, really good crowd because people hadn't seen them in a year or so.
I love the way you worded that. It's like they went out and got real jobs and became
Right.
to be honest, I mean, anyone working in the music industry, this is hard work. This isn't for
Yeah.
the faint of heart. You're going to sacrifice money, relationships. You're going to sacrifice your time. You're going to sacrifice your weekends. You're going to sacrifice everything that you have and then some. If this
Your
is what
sleep
you're
pattern
passionate
for
about.
one.
And I don't care what you do in the music business.
No.
The music business, period. No matter what job you have, time, relationships, money,
Everything.
weekends.
I think that goes for just the entertainment business in general, because I saw a quote the other day. It said, whether in music, comedian, whatever, you have to have some form of mental illness to want to put yourself through that.
It's non-stop, man. Like, Riff, right? I had a meeting the other night with one of our clients, right? 3:00 in the morning, I got off that meeting, my time. It's ridiculous. It's time.
But the thing is, though, what would you be doing otherwise at that hour? Crying yourself to sleep?
He'd be working on his OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Sending pictures of his
Working on his toes for his feet pics.
Yeah,
Right, dude.
baking cupcakes.
He does look like a feet pick kind of guy.
Them pedicures ain't cheap. That's why I work in the industry.
But it is. I mean, seriously, like we all, Kevin and I, we both have very demanding day jobs. I put in 60 to 70 hours a week at my day job.
Ooh.
And then I give another 30 between the sound and my clients at Riff Media. So I'm working 100 hours a week every single week. The only day that I refuse to work, I take one day. I take Saturday and I do not work. I don't get out of that bed. I stay in my pajamas all day long and I do nothing but watch television. And it's my only break. So
sometimes we end up working.
there are times that a client will message and here we go. And I'm on I'm on the computer or whatever. I mean, it never ends. Music is a 24/7 hour job. It really is. There are times.
Jared works at a hospital full time and he's on call half the time he's not at work. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we all work our fucking asses off.
And I love you guys for that, because it's not easy. Like, it can't be. There has to be moments where you're like, why am I doing this? And then you're like, because of the passion.
There's
100%.
plenty of times. There are times, I'm going to say maybe like, I feel like it's almost for me, like every March, I get into this like complete, like, and I'm not a very emotional person, but like around like once a year, it's what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Is that when Mercury's in the microwave? Is that when that is?
Yeah.
I don't even put a microwave.
You get those moments, right? And we've all had them. Like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? Why am I doing this, that, and the other? Right? Then something will happen, be it on one of our podcasts or one of our clients. Something happens with them, or something like just something really good happens, and then you sit back and go, "That's why I'm fucking doing it."
Or we got our magazine.
It happened for me today.
Oh,
when we had a band agree to come be on one of the shows, and I'm like,
Oh.
okay,
Yes.
all right,
Yeah, we get to
I'm
interview.
good with
Why we
that.
do it.
I'm revived for another month or so.
Right. And our magazine was actually nominated for a Josie Award this year.
That's
So
awesome. Congratulations.
that, for me, that was like, wow, okay, because we sit back sometimes, I'm sure all of us do, and we're just like, are we making an impact? Are we doing enough? And does anyone actually care? You know?
I get that way too with the podcast because there's moments where like I just start wondering why, and then people like you message me and like, hey, you want to do a podcast? I'm like, yeah. It gives you purpose.
Right.
The entertainment gives you purpose, and that's why we do it, because it gives us something to thrive for instead of just sitting in our pity.
Well, plus we want these bands, like we all feel so passionately about this music. You know, we go out to these shows. I go to a zillion shows a year. Like I drive. If it's within a 300-mile radius, I will be there. I was just in New Jersey on Sunday for a band that played their first live show, and I knew I had to be there because they're freaking amazing. And I was so happy that I could be there. And that's just what drives us. That passion for these new artists putting out amazing music who need to be heard drive us every single day.
Yeah. Like September, I'm in the works of working out logistics right now, but local boys near me, Raptors from Bristol, they're doing a UK tour. They're starting up in Scotland, in Glasgow, which is about, nine and a half hours from me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drive up to Glasgow, and then I'm going to follow him back down through the country, man.
The thing is the music industry needs you guys. Whether it feels like it at times or not, they need people like you guys, because otherwise they wouldn't have that support or even people listening in some situations. And they need people like that. It gives them purpose as well because you guys are like willing to play their stuff. You feel their stuff is worth listening to. So in that way, you are helping each other give each other purpose.
Yeah, and it's nice when a band appreciates you as well. And like I mentioned, our like super fans earlier, we've got like a good following of people that they come on and watch every podcast. They listen to the station. They, buy the magazine or whatever it is. They support us as a station and as people. And if it wasn't for them supporting us, that gives us drive to keep doing what we're doing as well.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's somebody's bedtime. I'm not to say any names.
I'm old. I mean, there's no reason. I'm old. I mean, I do have to get up at 4 a.m. for work, but
I know. Hey, I'm the oldest one here, and I also have to get up at 6 a.m. So,
well, guys, we are at the hour mark.
And
so
it's not because I'm tired; it's a lack of oxygen.
Lack of oxygen. Is that
because it's a lack of oxygen?
You need to get the oxygen fixed in your room, bro.
My air purifier is not on.
I am going to let you guys go so you can get your sleep. However, promote what you need to promote. Who's first?
Kevin.
What we need to promote? Just most recently going to be coming up July 19th with the 12 Stone show here in Mississippi with Counterfeit and Vision, them guys, Transient, and The Big Reveal. Tickets $25. Go to TheSound228.com, pick them up. If you're not in the area and you happen to see us on here and want to come down to the show, come on. Cheap tickets. It's going to be a great show. It is going to be truly a Gulf Coast music show. So that's
all
where
right. Who's next? You put Kevin on the spot. Come on.
Yeah. Lisa.
oh,
I'm gonna play Russian roulette. Hold on.
Oh, so it's me now. Download our app and listen to some of the best up and coming bands on the planet right now. The underground scene is absolutely killer right now. And come and discover some new artists and listen to some great rock and metal.
Sweet. And then
okay. So, yep. On I think it's September 13th, Rock for a Reason. Come on out, support. This is a Suicide Prevention Month event. We will have the American Oh, now I'm going to forget the name.
American
American
Foundation.
Foundation for Suicide Prevention and Mission 22 out. We're all sick and tired of losing our friends. Stand up and fight. So Kingdom Collapse, Dark Remedy, Envision, Papercut Massacre, Brendan Starr, Raven's Banquet, and Sanity's Last Breath at the Sanctuary in Biloxi, Mississippi. Tickets are $25 in advance.
Ooh, you did good. And also check out their merchandise. They have plenty. And this lovely gentleman is wearing one of the shirts. Go buy it now if you like it. Yeah, rock star. That's what y'all are. All right, guys. Thank you for doing this, taking time out of your 16-hour work day.
Thanks for having us on, man. It's
Yeah,
No, thank you. Thank you. It was great. It was fun.
it feels weird being the other side of on the questions, you know.
Well, you're always welcome. You guys always have a home here at Usenick Unleashed. I would love to work with you guys in the future, and you guys are amazing. Thank you, and thank you. Pleasure meeting you, Kevin.
You too. Thank you.
Of course. And as always, guys, live long, rock hard.